Hello, and welcome to At All Hours. I'm your host, Greg Ramirez, and today is a very special day for a lot of reasons. Namely, this is episode 1 of season 2. Season 2 of At All Hours. Isn't that some shit? Right? Season 2 right now, this is blowing my mind. Okay, we're coming in hot. We're starting off season number 2 for At All Hours. Not only that, but as of the release of this episode, today's my birthday. I'm 32 years old. Ain't that some actual shit? Okay? It's pretty crazy. Pretty ridiculous. And today I am also joined by a very special guest. Their first appearance on At All Hours. And we're going to kind of, go through a bunch of different topics today. We're going to bring in the new season with a guest who is also putting out some new music soon. Or as of today, actually. As of today, right? Yeah, as of today. They're putting out new music today. Please welcome our guest, Kultist. Welcome to the show. Thank you. Thank you for having me. So, this is your first time on a podcast or anything like that? Have you been on anything like this before? No, nothing like this, no. Okay, well, welcome. So you're putting out music soon, right? And is it are you putting out an album, or are you putting out new music, or what are you putting out? What is the thing? Because it's dropping today on my birthday, which is, I don't know why you chose my birthday to release it, but whatever. But why today, and why, or not why, I guess, what music, what do you do? What are you putting out? What is it? Well, it's a re-release of my first album, and it's my album Apocalypse. I put out last year at the end of February, and I haven't really put out a lot of music since then, or any music, I guess. But I really want to start the year off strong with, some content, just something to be able to put out. Because when I made Apocalypse, I was really proud of the instrumentation and everything that I put into it. And I kind of just thought it would be fun to be able to listen back to it without any sort of distraction from vocals and stuff like that. So it's an instrumental version of Apocalypse. Okay, so not new music. Well, it's not new music. It's the same music from the first album, right? But I mean, it's instrumental. I mixed it a little bit differently. And do you think people can actually tell if you mixed it differently? I mean, I don't know. I hope so. But if not, I mean, it's also fine. But I put out the album. I'm going to put out the album as of, I guess, today, when this recording comes out. Yeah. So yeah, it's called Apokalypsis. Okay, so it's the same album, but a little different, with the same name, but a little different. Well, I guess, if you want to do it, if you want to say it that way, but Apokalypsis is, can you hold your microphone a little? Oh yeah, sorry. Apokalypsis is Latin for apocalypse. So I just kind of thought, that was kind of cool. And I wanted to just have an album that kind of showcases like the instrumentation on the album. I was really proud of the album. I had a lot of fun recording it and doing all that, and then listening back to it. Just the instrumentation alone was something I was really happy about. And listening back to the tracks like sometime after, I really felt like I listened to it differently, since it's been almost a year since the album came out. So I don't really listen to like my songs that much. Like I just kind of don't put them on that often. Like I really don't listen to my own music because I feel like I just listened to it too much when I was like, recording it all, that I just kind of stepped away from it for a long time. Once it was done, once it was out, I just kind of didn't really listen back to it. It was like it's out. That's it. But now some time had passed and I was listening back to it, and I just, listened to the um the songs without the vocals on it, and just kind of removed the vocals and was just listening to the instrumentation, which I hadn't done since I recorded the album, because the vocals were pretty much what I did last. Since the songs were already done, they just needed to be recorded. I did the vocals last. And yeah, it was just like listening back to it. It was really nice hearing just the instrumentation and being able to hear, like, I guess, like being able to hear the work that I put into the instrumentation, when I feel like there was so much emphasis on like lyrics and singing and stuff like that. So it was really nice being able to go back to it like that. Cool. So it's like the same thing though. Like you're putting out the same album. It's sure. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. I like instrumentation. I like instrumental stuff. That's cool. You know? But like why today? Like why my birthday? But I didn't put it out on your birthday. Like I just chose. It's like a month out. I guess I could have waited like another month. It would have been like the 1 year anniversary of Apocalypse, but I just wanted to put something out to kind of start the year. Right. Anyway, well, that's cool. Sounds fun. So you make music. You sing and stuff. Yeah, I do everything. Like what? You sing and then you took your vocals out. You like play guitar and you do all that stuff too, right? Yeah, I play like all the instruments. I did everything for the album. Okay, take it easy. Okay, I get it. Okay, are there any like bands that you get compared to, like for like your sound or like band? Because like one of the bands that I think of is like Tame Impala that does that. My God, man, everyone always fucking brings up Tame Impala with that. Right. I know. It's just like, it's weird because like I get it. Like Tame Impala does all their own stuff, or it's just like one guy doing music and stuff. Right. But I hate it. I don't like Tame Impala. I don't really like him either. It's like when, because I tell people that I make my own music, and like they're like, what do you play? And I'm like, I play guitar, I play bass, I sing, I do whatever, right? And I immediately get like, oh, like Tame Impala, which is like, I get it. It's like, it's not like the sound, it's just that people are always like, oh, well, I know Tame Impala releases his own music and he, writes everything and he records everything. He plays all the instruments. Wow, it's so cool. I mean, yeah, like I appreciate like the comparison to someone else who's doing that, but I also like, I don't know. I think it's a like personal thing. I don't like Tame Impala at all. I don't know why either. It's like millions of people can't be wrong, I'm sure, but I don't really like Tame Impala. So being compared first, especially when there's like bands that I really love that have kind of like solo, like artists that have like a band under them kind of thing where it's like Gorillaz or Nine Inch Nails, Sleep Party People, their bands that I love, but they're basically like single people. Like it's like Damon Albarn, Trent Reznor, Brian Batts. They're the ones that are creating the music, and they essentially just put out the music. But then, when they play it live, they play it with like a band that stands in for them. But it's just their music they're putting out. Right, right, right. Um, I agree. I mean, I get that. Like, I don't. I also don't. I don't like Tame Impala. Yeah. So, um, Nine Inch Nails. I feel like, well, is your music similar to Nine Inch Nails or like Sleep Party People or anything like that, or is it more like Tame Impala? It's definitely not like, um, I mean, kind of not like any of those bands. It's I don't know. Maybe I just have beef with Tame Impala. I don't know, but um, that's usually the first like comparison that people make is just, oh, it's like Tame Impala. It's like, all right, I mean, that's fine, whatever. Okay, well, I mean, I don't like them either, but it sounds like a lot of complaining about being compared to a band that's, I mean, inarguably more successful than you. I mean, I feel like it's just kind of like, okay, if someone is like telling you like that you're like, oh, it's like Tame Impala, and you're like, oh, I don't like Tame Impala. Like I just kind of feel like in your position, you should just kind of learn to take the compliment. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, so are there other bands that you like that you get compared to, or that you've heard anything similar like that you don't just hate for no reason? I mean, there's like I've heard people say like um Cigarettes After Sex. Okay. Deftones, Circus Survive, bands I listen to, that like bands I really love. So I guess it kind of makes sense that those kind of comparisons come up. But I mean, I don't sound like them. Okay, here we go. No, I mean, it's not like I mean it in a sense of being like I don't stack up to them. Okay. Okay, well, whatever. I don't think I don't think people mean it in the sense of like you're as good as them. It's just, the influence is there. Like obviously I listen to those, I love those bands, and it shows in the music that I make. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, so whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's just get past the whole little who you sound like or who you reminds who of whoever. Okay, well, you're the one asking me the questions. Okay, whatever. So, look, Kultist. Yes. You are a cult leader? I mean, yeah, yeah. Sure. Okay. So, if you're a cult leader, right, and you're cultist, then how are you a cultist and the cult leader? I don't understand. Okay, so if you're in a cult, you're a cultist, okay? And if you're the cult leader, you're like the cult. You're not like a cultist in a cult. You're the leader of the cult, presumably the one that started the cult, right? So like why the name cultist if you're also like saying that you're like a cult leader and stuff? I mean, if you're a cult leader, you're presumably in the cult, right? I don't know. You tell me. Okay. Well, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I'm like a cultist within my own cult, I guess. I didn't really think like people would look that into it like this, I guess. Well, you got to be prepared, man. Come onto a podcast and you have fucking stupid answers like that. Okay, well, I didn't know it was going to be. People don't know things that are going to happen all the time, okay? Are you a fucking psychic? Is that what kind of cult leader you are? You could see the fucking future? I didn't know like what was going to be happening on this podcast. Like I didn't know you were going to be such a dick about everything. Okay, well, maybe you should have listened to a fucking few episodes, cuz if you listen to season 1, you would know that maybe, I don't know, I'm not the nicest fucking dude, okay? It's been suggested, kind of a jerk. Yeah, well, I could definitely see that now. Okay, whatever. So Kultist. Yes. What? Yes. Explain yourself. Like what? Like what do you mean? You're a cult leader and a cultist. Why cultist? Why? Why cultist? I mean, I was trying to come up with a name for a while because I was like I'd tried being in bands when I was younger. So when I was like in high school, I started writing music, and I tried forming bands with like some of my friends, and it just kind of never went anywhere. The story like to all that is really long-winded, and it's just not worth getting into right now. I agree. I do not want to hear about it. And okay. So I won't then, but maybe, I don't know, maybe if in the future I could talk about it. Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about it in the future. Sure. Okay. All right. But whatever. I tried making bands when I was like younger, and it just never really panned out. I had a lot of issues when I was like in my 20s and stuff. So it never really went anywhere. I continued writing music, but can never really get a band together. And then when I did, I just kind of it just never really panned out. It never really went anywhere. So during a certain time, I want to say like now it was like a few years ago, but during this like certain time, I had stopped writing music for a while. Like a lot of the music I wrote was when I was like a teenager into like my early 20s, and then just stopped for a long time. And after that, I just started like I had actually written the song Strawberry Lemonade. Yeah, I don't know it. And you don't you don't know Strawberry Lemonade? I've probably like heard it somewhere, like maybe like someone was playing it or something. I'm sure I've heard it. Like, have you listened to like any of the music I've put out? No, yeah. I mean, like I have you on the show, of course. Like I've listened, like you know, like I thumbed through the catalog. I went through like I saw like the songs. Like I know you make music and stuff, but I just like you can't. I don't know, like maybe not every single song you've written ever. Like maybe not that. Like, but like I've seen some stuff. Yeah, I know some. I like Strawberry Lemonade. Yeah, I know Strawberry Lemonade. It's 10 songs. Like I know it's 10 songs, but it's just like it's not that big of a deal that I don't remember everything. Yeah, it's just 10 songs. It is kind of a big deal because it's only a few songs. Like, I thought you were having me on as a guest because, like, you at least listened to, like, some of the songs, at least, apparently, at least one. I mean, I've listened to a few songs, more than just one song, okay? Like, I don't know where this is all just coming from. I've listened to Strawberry Lemonade, okay? I've listened to the fucking song. I listened to the song, okay? Jesus fucking Christ. Strawberry Lemonade. I've heard it, okay? Okay. Like, it's fine. Okay. I don't know, like, what. We're only like a few minutes in and you're already kind of being, like, very hostile. I'm being hostile. Like, you're the one who, like, you're so proud of being a fucking jerk, and now, like, I'm the one being hostile. Like, I don't think I'm being very hostile. I don't think it's weird to me that you invited me on and you don't know, like, anything that I made. Well, okay. Well, I don't think it's that weird. But okay, look. Okay. Look. Let's just. You were talking about your name, whatever, and how whatever. Your name, Kultist. You were okay. Go ahead. You wrote Strawberry Lemonade. I've listened to it, obviously. The rest of your songs I listened to also. Duh. Okay. Go ahead. I wrote Strawberry Lemonade, and it kind of brought me out of this, like, slump of, like, writing and just kind of being creative in general. Like, I had this, like, association with writing and being, like, or I guess just, like, kind of, like, using art and writing as, like, an outlet. So when I didn't feel like I needed an outlet, I just kind of felt like I couldn't be creative, which is, I mean, realistically, it's just an excuse not to be creative or not to challenge yourself. I mean, like, also, it's like, if you're using it as an outlet, it's like, that's great. But if it's something you're pursuing and you're, like, someone who wants to be creative and wants to be an artist, but think you have this kind of roadblock in your head of being like, I can only be creative if I'm suffering, it's just like an excuse to not be creative, to not challenge yourself, to not push yourself. So I kind of had to break out of that, like, mindset. And because I wasn't miserable, really anymore. And I started approaching songs and, like, songwriting differently, where I started doing more like story driven songs. And when I wrote Strawberry Lemonade, which is, like, tells a whole story, and I got that song done, and I just thought, like, I really liked it. And then I started writing more, like, simple songs that wasn't so dedicated to like, having, like, needing a full 5-piece band. Right. And it was a lot nicer being able to just write music again. Mm-hmm. Without having to, like, have this pressure on myself of, like, needing, like, a full band. And I just started going through songs and then looking at old songs, and I kind of came across the idea of wanting to do something on my own. And it just kind of, that was the first thing, was like, I needed to come up with a name. So with coming up on, like, with this idea that you were like, okay, I have to do this on my own, because that's kind of the way I felt with At All Hours, like, starting it. Right. And it's like, when I wanted to do, like, a podcast, I knew, like, I had to learn I had to, like, buy equipment, so I had to just look it up and then do everything on my own. So was it kind of the same way, where it was like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I have to just, like the way I did, I just went on YouTube and, like, looked up a bunch of tutorials. Yeah, that's pretty much what I did too. Really? Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's the thing. It was like going to start a podcast. I knew I wanted to have, like, a simple setup that I could travel around with, but at the same time, like push myself to do it, even though I was going to do it on my own and just teach myself how to do these little things and be able to put it out. So it was just that. So it sounds like it was pretty much the same way, right? Yeah. I mean, I knew how to play the instruments and like, like write songs out. Right. Right. But when it came to like mixing and like recording, mixing, editing, all that different shit, I didn't know how to do any of that. So I just went on YouTube and like looked it all up, and it worked. Like it's definitely like amateur, and like I still, even now, like I have like a vague understanding of how to do everything, but you know, it got it done. It got the job done, and I didn't have to go through anyone else. Like no one else is associated with this album, with Apokalypsis. Like no one else is associated with it. And from the start of Kultist to putting out Apocalypse, there were people that kind of came along during that time, and none of them stuck. So, it is what it is. But I think it kind of paid off in the end. Yeah, I mean, I get that, especially if like some people kind of jump in and then they just want to be around for, their own benefit and make it look like it's your benefit. Like that's kind of fucked up. I agree. Well, okay. So you're really derailing this conversation. So I just wanted to know about Cultist, like where you got the name from. Well, like I was saying, it was like once I got to the idea that I knew I wanted to be like a completely solo act, it became like, okay, well, I have to figure out a name that's going to be like kind of fitting for me. And I needed like an artist name. Right. But I don't have like a very, like my real name's not like very Hollywood, I guess, sounding. Like I just wouldn't have my name as just like my name. So like I knew I needed to come up with like I also didn't want like a stage name. I wanted to have like an artist name. I just knew I couldn't use my name. Yeah, okay. Well, I tried to look it up and I just saw like Cultist, but like what is your name? Well, I don't really think like that's kind of not the point anymore. Like it's kind of just like a whole thing, like a persona now, I guess. Okay. But sorry, I shouldn't have asked. I just kind of figured like, maybe we could have like an exclusive or something like that. No, I get it. It's fine. It's kind of like not the point anymore, I like Cultist and I feel like it suits me, Sure. No, I get you. Anyway, yeah, so Cultist, you came up with it. So you're like really just not fucking getting to the point. Okay. I mean, I went out, I was trying to come up with a name, and I hung out with my friend Noel, and I have a friend named Noel too. Really? Yeah, like we've been friends like since we were teenagers. Me too. Weird. Small world. Yeah. But I remember I'd because we would have this kind of like thing that we would always do, where I would drop acid. Nice. And we would basically hang out, and he would kind of just drive me around, and if I wanted to go somewhere, then we could go, and he would just kind of stay sober and basically just humor anything I wanted to do. So during that time, we had gone, I don't remember where we went. We were just kind of driving around, and when we like stopped into a parking lot and we're hanging out, and we were like talking about different stuff. It's so stupid now, but I remember talking about cutting someone's brake lines. Okay. And basically, like, the conversation had come up was like, you know, how like some cult leaders don't actually do any of like the killings themselves, like you know, like Charles Manson or whoever. Right. And I kind of thought like I wouldn't be the one cutting the brake lines. I would be the one, you know, instructing someone else to cut these brake lines for this person, and then, you know, they die, whatever. And it turned into like this like thing of being like where I was just some crazy like psychedelics addict and I'd cut someone's brake lines, saying that I was in a cult, like that I was a cult leader, and that I was like a one person cult. And I kind of see it kind of coming together. Yeah. So it was like that idea of being like a one man cult, and which is just like insane because there's really no cult. It's just like a, you know, solo religious fanatic, essentially, is what it would be. But it was really funny, and we were talking about this thing of like a guy who does this like thing, kills like one person, and then claims to be a cult leader in a cult that they're the only member of. And then when we were talking, Noel actually was the one that coined it, which, you know, shout out to Noel. Don't do that. Don't shout people out. Okay. Like, I can shout people out, but okay, I'd appreciate it if you didn't. Okay, sorry. But shout out to Noel, my boy Noel, not your boy Noel, my boy Noel. Shout out to you. Okay. So we were talking, and we like talked about a newspaper article that would have been like, it would have said like, local cultist arrested for, you know, like murder of some person, whatever. And that was like the headline, essentially saying like there's like this local cult person and like local cultist who's in a cult and who is also the leader and is also the sole member of it. And I really liked the name local cultist, but I remember thinking like when I would say the name local cultist, it kind of felt like it gets kind of jumbled up when you say it. Right. Like it just kind of, there's like a lot going, there's a lot of mouth movement. There's a lot of mouth, some acrobatics of the tongue and the cheeks. You know what I mean? I guess. It just kind of feels very like garbled when you say it. Yeah. You'd be garbling. You know what I mean? Okay. So I kind of really liked the name local cultist. But I just kind of thought maybe I can trim it down to, you know, just cultist, and it really stuck. And it really fit in with my, like, ever since I was young, I really had this like infatuation with cult leaders and like serial killers and stuff like that. And it was always something that was really interesting to me. Right, hey, right. Shit, what? I'm sorry. I didn't know you guys were recording. Yeah, I'm recording right now. Hey, are you cultist? Yeah. I'm. Oh shit, I'm like a big fan, dude. Like, I listen to all your music. That's that's cool. Great, man. Thank you. Okay, well, what is it like? What is this about? Like, why are you? Like, what's so important that you need to come and fucking just jump into this right now? So I just needed to tell you, like, one of the files that you sent me earlier is just kind of, it had an issue. I just wanted to let you know. Okay, I'll take care of it. Like, we'll fix it later. Like, it doesn't have to be right now. like an actual guest. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
It's really nice to meet you. Maybe we could talk
Thank
after.
you. It's nice to meet you too.
And kind of catch
Okay,
up.
well, he's got to go right after. As soon as we're done, like this, he's gonna take off. We can talk after.
So,
like it's.
I'm sorry.
That's
fine.
Really I'll send you. I'll just. Yeah. No. Can you just let me finish this recording? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry about that. That was my my editor. No, yeah, I mean, that's fine. I told him about what was going on and stuff, and like I don't know why this is still. I really don't mind. I didn't know coming up like it's a fucking surprise. But yeah, sorry about that. You continue. You're talking about your little serial killer book, whatever. Yeah. So I had this book that had like these different like serial killers and cult leaders and mob criminals and different kinds of people. And it was like a really big book, and I really was into it because it was so interesting, just kind of seeing the different kind of like psychology behind these different kinds of people, and cult leaders and cultists were always really super fascinating to me, and just kind of the dedication that people feel, and especially people who feel so lost. Kind of gravitating towards something like that, like a cult. So when Noel had kind of come up with the name, or had thrown out the name local cultist, I really liked cultist in general. And it just kind of stuck. So after that, it was just, I think it was like, that was the name that that hit me, and I was like, this is the name. Okay, so why cultist with a K? Because I tried to search cultist, a few minutes ago, honestly. Yeah, I saw that. You're kind of on your phone. Yeah, okay, well, I looked it up, and do you also make like black metal? Okay, no, so when I'd come up with cultist, when Noel came up with cultist, right, when Noel came up with cultist, I was going to go by cultist, like the way it's actually spelled. And I looked up cultist just to see like what, like cultist band or something like that. And of course there's a metal band called Kultist, and it was like Cultist, and I was like, okay, well, let me try cultist with like a K, and then I looked that up, or I think it was like I looked up cultist, and then I looked up cultist with like a V, so it was like CVLIST, and I think I don't know if anything came up, but I think my first like thought after, okay, well, cultist isn't gonna work. I looked up cultist with a K, and then there's like another metal band that was also cultist with a K. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, then I tried looking at different variations of it, and it was like, it really had to be like completely different. It wasn't just going to be like cultist. It was like, I would have to be like KVLT1 $T. Yeah, that's honestly pretty awesome. I know I should have gone with that, but I just kind of figured, like, if I'm gonna have the same or like similar name to another artist, I may as well just do one that I like. And I just kind of stuck with cultist, the way it's spelled now with the K. And yeah, it kind of fit, I guess kind of like my personality with my friends. Like, I'm very protective of my friends, and I'm always like, I always would love to have like more people like in my friend group and stuff, but it's kind of like, there's been times where like I've invited people over, and I'm like, you want to hang out with us, right? Me and my friends, like, do this thing. And it's always like, kind of like earn your stripes. And a lot of people don't really get that, or they don't like it, where they're like, well, why should I have to prove myself to be your friend? And it's like, it's not really the point, you know? It's just like, it's more like, I just like having like a loyal friend group. And then when I know that someone's like down to do some stupid shit with me, then, I know I could trust them, you know? Like it's kind of like being, like weeding out narcs in a group, you know? Yeah, for sure. Like it's like once you know that they're doing some shit, then you're like, or they're down to do something for you, then you're like, okay, like I for sure trust you more than I did before. Yeah, exactly. So, it just kind of fit. I think it was really funny, or like fitting and kind of funny. But yeah, it was, something that kind of fit, and it just happened through circumstance, through just, I was just taking acid one night and it came up, and it was perfect and changed everything. Did you do a lot of acid? Because I used to do acid a lot when I was like pretty young too. Yeah, I mean, cool, real fucking cool. You were doing acid. Okay, I'm finally like starting to warm up to you now, and then you decide to flip it and be a dickhead to me. Like, I get it, the whole thing of being like a jerk and stuff, but like, no, I get it. I know, I get it. Okay. Well, look, this has been super insightful, I guess. But do you have like, other than you're just like releasing the same album again, giving everyone the same shit they already have? Okay. Do you have any other like plans for new music, like actual new music this year or anything like that? Like, is there anything in mind? Yeah, there's thanks for that. You're welcome. There's going to be some new music coming out this year for sure. I'm working on a single that's going to be coming out sometime soon called Drug Honey. Drug Honey, nice. And I'm pretty excited about that. And I don't know if it's going to be this year, but I do have enough music to put a full second LP out. So definitely going to have some updates about that throughout the year. If not this year, then next year for sure. And if I don't put out the LP this year, then I also have a couple of EPs in mind as well. So there's definitely a single coming out soon. Definitely some new music coming out soon, either in the form of an LP or an EP. And also some collaborations coming up this year. Ooh, collaborations. Like with, like, is it anyone you've collabed with before or something new? No, it's going to be a new artist and someone I'm making music with, and then collaborations and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that that's in the works right now, and it's definitely making some progress. I'm really excited about that, and potentially music videos for Apocalypse, which could be really fun. So if I can get around to that, then that would be really nice too. But yeah, a lot of stuff planned for this year, and just trying to stay on top of it, trying to stay consistent. Honestly, trying to post more too, like just not being so like quiet with my like account and stuff. Like really trying to promote Apocalypse more, which is why I'm putting out Apocalypsis. So I want to do that. I don't know. I'm just gonna also throw this out, just like for no real no real plans on it, but maybe speak it into existence. Maybe put out videos of me playing songs, like acoustic songs. Maybe put out an acoustic version of Apocalypse. Maybe do some live shows. Ooh, okay. So maybe some like challenges you're setting for yourself. Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to put it. Okay, so maybe so for sure some new music. Yes.
and possibly a lot of new music. Yes, yeah. And maybe some music videos, maybe start booking some shows and stuff like that. Maybe we could do something like a collab thing where, where you play a show and maybe I could like announce you and like have you come on, or maybe we could do like a live thing where like you play a few songs and then I come up and like we do like a podcast together or something like that. Maybe we could probably work something out like that. I mean, sure, we could try. I don't know how that would work. Why would it not work? I don't know. I just don't know like how you would have like a live performance of music and then it would just go into like a podcast, like an hour, like you do like an hour-long podcast. Well, yeah, but I mean like people like listening to the podcast. Like, people listen to it. Okay. You don't think that people listen to the pod? Like, have you I mean, you've listened to the episodes, like you've listened to At All Hours, right? No, yeah. Like this, I mean, you listen to Kultist, so I've listened to At All Hours. Yeah, no, yeah. No. Okay, well, yeah. Then maybe we can figure something out. Maybe we can do something, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I just don't think it's a good idea. All right. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. Episode 21, I guess. At All Hours, season 2. Starting off good, I guess. Kultist, thank you for coming on. Thank you for having me. New Kultist album, instrumental album, Apokalypsis, coming out today, January 24th. Kultist, do you have any like final words to say to anyone? Join your local cult. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. And okay, bye.